Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, it's your brother Bolo V&R. We in the building. You understand what I say? There, man. There. Hope everybody good. Now, one serious message from Ralston Hyman, you know. And we have to share with the people, you know.
Well, finally, I want to say to the people of Jamaica, we're at a tipping point. One of the things that Richard Pandoy, CEO of Seprod, said to me today, that I can't understand why everybody's so silent and why the people are so silent and I take all of this problem. And that's why we're saying, we want the people of Jamaica to wise up and rise up and make the man them know. So we know that we are in a crisis and we're not tolerating those things anymore.
People, me not incite no violence. I mean, you know, on this program, I will never tell you guys to go and do something and put yourself in a harm's way with the law and nothing. There's legal ways to wise up and rise up here. You see in America and other places around the world, you see the boiling pot over there in financially right now, where the government are lied to us about. Yeah, you know, say, in a them place there, people would have start protest already. Me hear talk out of I press talk every day. People get out and protest. People, oh not take this, oh not accept Andrew Holness 28 bank account. The man a bring down the country. Mystic Sensation, Carlos TV, Ratic, and everybody. Jamaica Hot Topic, Panaja TV, everybody is doing sulfur. Everybody, I mean, so much vloggers. Some women not even know. You feel what I say? Where they out there, Annie Isabel Rose. Where they out there, Portland Spice TV, Portland Land Spice or Landscape. Hold on there. Land Spice TV, Portland Land Spice TV. There's so many out there, man, that have been doing a phenomenal job in keeping us abreast. I mean, what the lady name we come on TVJ? Oh my goodness, I forgot her name. She always cover the IC report and even the DPP thing them. Alright? You don't know me I talk. That lady there. Right? They might do a great job. So people without any further ado want to hear where Ralston and Colin Anthony Bell have to say, you know. Because a bare facts, the man them a drop on numbers in the data. Things where they can't argue, you know, because them love to say people are spread misinformation. And the gist of this is that the corruption scandal has taken a toll on the economy. What corruption scandal? Now the Prime Minister, who did know say investors are Jamaica because of the scandal them, the financial scandal them. But Andrew Holness name I call up in. Who did pre that? I never was really looking into it too deep, you know. But Ralston made that of one of many valid points that's factual in this one here. So this is going to be very exciting. Wanna strap on and let's get it.
Thanks for taking time out on Christmas Eve. No grand market?
No.
No grand market. What, the money not enough?
Money not enough.
Ralston, we are in serious times.
Yeah, man.
Very serious times. And we are not what they call bad news or, because some of them want to silent people.
But they have the good news or the false news or and the flawed news or. Yeah.
So will it work?
Yeah, man.
So you know why good news were them. The one them want to negate the fact that the whole ship a sink. And I come up and I lie to the people them and I use semantics. And I try to tell the people them say we are lie to honor. And them are good news were no. Well, listen.
Well, we are talking about the truth.
Yeah, man, we follow data.
And we're not telling nobody that we balance. What we speak is what we know as the truth. The whole truth, man, and nothing but the truth. Ralston, from the beginning of the year, and even in last year, we were saying that government policies were wrong.
Yeah, man.
The government was paying more than they need to pay on the debt. Give us a background on all of that before we come up to the time now.
And they are still doing it as at the period January to September. The primary surplus, which is the amount of money we accumulate to service the debt, was running at 107 billion, which should have been only 97 billion. So they are still doing it.
So 107 billion when all we need was 97 billion. So we're talking about 10 billion more than we needed to pay.
And that has been
people. What the man just explained a while ago, you know. And when you see me start the video, this is for the people them way not as quick as other people. So for you we're quick, go watch the video yourself over Land Spice, Portland Land Spice TV. You see people them way not so quick. May I break it down for the important points them, so it's gonna be stopped. So, because we can't talk over the people them when them talk audibly, that's not wise. Alright? So what the man says that them appear off the debt too fast. And that's not necessarily a good thing. This is a main point in this video, you know. Saying they were required to pay 97 billion and then pay 107 billion. Saying, listen again.
When we accumulate to service the debt was running at 107 billion, which should have been only 97 billion. So they are still doing it.
So
see them still do that. Uno mark that done for one piece of paper. The government is paying $10 billion more of the debt to GDP with them over, which is not necessarily a good thing. And I'm going to explain why. Just keep that in mind.
107 billion when all we need was 97 billion. So we're talking about 10 billion more than we needed to pay.
And that has been a consistent practice over the last 6 years under Clarke's stewardship. So those who are wondering what is happening to the roads and the hospitals and the schools and all those things, that's the answer.
So the government preferred to pay the bank more money than the banks required.
Precisely.
So the bank said to you, pay me $20 million a year. But the government decided to pay $25 million a year.
Yeah.
And while
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
While doing that, they starve the country's human capital as well as the country's physical capital. That is why everything has broken down.
And let's look at this. While paying the banks,
break that down. So what the government is doing is prioritizing paying off the debt. But other things have to suffer for that to happen. And the things that are suffering, the man said, that is why you see the roads the way they are. That is why you see the hospital, in terms of the services, are locked there off are the way they are. That's why I see them don't pay the teacher them the money them what they're supposed to get. That's why you see the police them get paid certain money. That's why you see the people them like hotel them with the long standing issue them can't really fix yet. But they give them all them type of promise they are ready. You remember when Pastor Shuttleworth told them said there's going to be an industrial revolution and our industrial crisis starting next year? Look out for it. These are the things that they're doing, but the man will go even more in depth to show you how sinister these things that them do is. Wanna listen?
More than they need to pay. JUTC run a ground.
Yeah, man.
So in 2016, JUTC had 460 buses. Today, they only have 240.
They carried 62 million passengers. Today, they are carrying 16 million passengers.
Quarter of what they used to carry. Hence, we're seeing gridlock in the city of Kingston. You can't go anywhere fast, and therefore a slowing down of production.
Correct. And a waste of foreign exchange because all of that parts and gasoline, we don't make any of them. We have to import them.
We have to import them. Our roads went into...
Thank you, Sharon.
Donkey
emergency.
trucks.
The Prime Minister declared them an emergency. This is the first time in the history of Jamaica that has ever happened.
Wow.
So you are the Prime Minister for 8 years. And the road reach a stage now till you have to declare an emergency. What does that really say to the people?
Wow.
And it's not because you don't have any resources, because you collect more taxes than any other previous government and you get more money to borrow than any other previous government.
Hey.
So you have more money at your disposal than any other government.
So people, Andrew Holness government don't put up no new tax, but they are collecting more tax. That is also another significant thing what we have to remember. Nigel Clarke. Yeah, man, you're still relevant, my boss. You can't go nowhere. You're still relevant. Let's continue.
In independent Jamaica.
Precisely.
So what really go on then, Ralston?
Misallocation of those resources, as we said before, them spend most of those resources to unnecessarily bring the debt to GDP ratio down to 70%, as at the same time they sacrifice the country's infrastructure and human capital.
So
that's what everybody done.
That's
what everybody done. That's why the road they mash up. That's why the hospital they mash up and you have to sit down and chair for 3-4 days before you get to bed. All of that. Madness. That's why the JUTC has been run aground. All of those things.
But Christopher Tufton at conference said that when he came in to be the Minister of Health, the budget to the health ministry was $60 billion. The budget to the health ministry now is $120 billion. So how the hospital them to mash up?
Well, I mean, a significant portion of those resources were misallocated. So when people are talking about the health ministry cannot account for $900 billion.
No.
People, you see the $3 trillion thing and come up back again? Where did the money go? When them boss say them spend all of this money, where it spent on? Why is the present state of our healthcare system at its most deplorable? And that is not up for debate. It is at its most deplorable. People are experiencing it. People are living it. Alright? They have come out and they've spoken about it in length. Amount of video out there. You have this lady at Spanish Town where I wipe up floods of water out of the damn what them call the area with the children them supposed to do after them born. Are the listen me no man. Sure.
The health ministry can't account for $695 billion. That is for them. The education ministry have not given the account for $902 billion. We want to talk about that, but we don't want to reach there so yet. Because you talk about the hospital, them mash up. How can the hospital them not at optimum, but the government is admitting that we are not short on money?
Yes. So what they are telling you is that the money has been misallocated. That is why the $695 billion cannot be accounted for.
Ralston, education, a critical sector in any country's development. $902 billion over 9 years.
Yep.
With the matter of Ruel Reid. However, the present Ministry of Finance is trying to say to the people of Jamaica, no money, no missing. We are going to account for it.
The President Minister was running that ministry for a very long time. But the President Minister is also culpable in that regard. So what I want to say...
So hold on there. Ralston is saying that P.F.L. Williams is also culpable in the... Hey, people, wanna hear that? Hey, listen to that again.
However, the present Ministry of Finance is trying to say to the people of Jamaica, no money, no missing. We are going to account for it.
The President Minister was running that ministry for a very long time. But the President Minister is also culpable in that regard. So whether you want to say missing or unaccounted for, the fact of the matter is that the Auditor General has no appropriations accounts for all of that money. And until we get those accounts and can properly audit them, whether you want to use the word missing or unaccounted for or stolen, whatever, the country hasn't determined and is not in a position to determine whether we got value for those monies. Simple.
But it gets worse, Ralston. The Ministry of Finance, for the last 4 years, have not accounted for $1 trillion.
Under the great Nigel Clarke, yes.
Get qualified in stage 1 practical nursing.
Oh my God, under the great Nigel Clarke, all of these madness in our economy. Biggest sellout ever in the Ministry of Finance as far as me concerned. Biggest sellout. Things them what them a do in this thing.
Why people want to blame us, Ralston, when we put these things on the table?
Because they are in denial, and the longer they stay in denial, is the more the country is going to deteriorate, and is the more we are going to see all these conditions that they wring their hands about, not knowing that these are the factors that are driving them.
People come out of denial here.
Well, finally, I want to say to the people of Jamaica, we're at a tipping point. One of the things that Richard Pandoy, CEO of Seprod, said to me today, that he can't understand why everybody's so silent and why the people are so silent and I take all of this problem. And that's why we're so want the people of Jamaica to wise up and rise up And make the man them know, say, we know that we are in a crisis and we're not tolerating those things anymore.
We're not here.
In denial.
You've been saying it, and a lot of people question when you talk, but they question without the numbers. What do you say to those people?
Well, I'll tell them that they must get the numbers because you can't analyze anything rationally or properly without the numbers. They're dealing with emotions and party affiliations. We're dealing with data and Jamaica. That's a big difference.
But
want to hear that? More the people, the die-hearted people, if you listen to that party again.
Knowing that these are the factors that are driving them. They're in denial.
You've been saying it, and a lot of people question when you talk, but they question without the numbers. What do you say to those people?
Well, I'll tell them that they must get the numbers because you can't analyze anything rationally or properly without the numbers. They're dealing with emotions and party affiliations. We're dealing with data and Jamaica. That's a big difference.
But them say you're PNP, Ralston.
Well, whatever they want to say, there's no PNP data or JLP data. What they want to do is to create PNP data and JLP data. Data is data, and it's data that determines if you make good policy. All the good countries in the world that are doing well, their decisions are data-driven.
Basically, numbers don't lie. You cannot fake a good economy. Andrew Holness and Nigel Clarke has pulled the wool over the ignorant people in Jamaica's eyes. Right? Focuses on debt to GDP. Saying them are go further down like wanting to pay attention to the people. Pay attention, man. Pay attention.
Where do you get your data from?
The same official sources, the Planning Institute of Jamaica, the Bank of Jamaica.
The Planning Institute of Jamaica and the Bank of Jamaica, those are two sources we get the data we am talk about. Some don't want nobody in the comment section to come talk about, oh, I lie them I tell. Go look up the data at the two places them. That are those two of them. Hear more.
The Statistical Institute of Jamaica.
The Statistical Institute of Jamaica.
The IMF.
The IMF.
World Bank.
The World Bank.
The US Federal Reserve Board.
The US Federal Reserve Board.
The European Central Bank.
The European Central Bank. European Central Bank.
Of England. The Bank of Japan.
The Bank of England. The Bank of Japan. All of them sources there.
The US Federal Reserve Board, the European Central Bank, the Bank of England, the Bank of Japan, the People's Bank of China.
The People's Bank of China.
All of those sources.
So you don't...
People, you hear where the man I get him data from? You hear? That's quite an extensive data source pool right there. No? That's a global extensive source pool where our finances are concerned. So Jamaica, we are in a recession. It is going to be declared at the end of the year because they have a decline in this quarter. We're going into a massive recession, people. Save up on the money. If you don't spend enough already from the Christmas start, put it down. And the people over there are firing on listen to man. You know people are going to call on you used to help regular, you know. Una go get some call. Me can't tell you that right now. Cause it's gonna get real tight. You understand? Yeah, man.
Get data from places where nobody else can get it.
Like I'm sure people.
Precisely.
So where you are talking from is that if people are interested, and some of those people who are saying everything good.
Everything good. Internet, love me, make me live my life. Look off I page.
If they want to tell the truth, they could have find it.
Precisely, and if the
Look off I page, no man. Sure.
People who are interviewing them were au fait with the data, then they'll know when they are giving misleading information. For example, Mr. Chung gives a whole lot of misleading data.
You know, Ralston, that's a
Mr. Chang. Horace Chang. What am I say? That's serious? That's serious? Mr. Chang, I'm going to put up in picture. Mr. Chang, I walk one. God have mercy.
Emotional damage.
Critical part of the thing, you know. A lot of people are conducting interviews and they have
no clue as to what they're talking about.
Exactly, so they don't know the questions to ask Therefore, they can't get the truth.
Yeah, precisely. And it's not just a lot of people. It's not just a lot of people. They are the main people who put up themselves to be interviewing everybody and say they are the top people. So,
Lord have mercy. People. The whole like top media personnel them out there were interview Nerine. Oh, Dennis Chung, not okay. Dennis Chung, okay. Thank you so much for the correction. A whole heap of media personnel out there where do interviews. Oh no, not about the finances in. So no the question them have to ask. You know my name say. This serious, sir?
People who are interviewing them were au fait with the data, then they'll know when they are giving misleading information.
Alright, so you do an interview. Remember, say we here in this space of YouTube and social media are not professional. We don't do interviews. We don't do interviews with the Prime Minister and these people, right? And the people, the political officials in different ministries. So I think it's safe to say that it's a part of the job description to know what the hell you're interviewing them about, isn't it? Right? You should have some data in front of you, like you said. So if they're telling you a lie, you can say, no, but wait a minute, Mr. Prime Minister. According to the World Bank, such and such and such, this is what is happening. Just like when the lady from 18th North was interviewing Andrew Holness, and him said, oh yeah, I pay my taxes. And she said, but wait, here's a reference. We checked your properties and this is what they told us. So you're telling us that you paid your taxes, but what they're telling us, that is the government entity where taxes are collected, is that they didn't pay your taxes. You see what she did there? Because she was on point before she went on her interview to do her research. So there's a lot of these mainstream media journalists that they can say what they want about the vloggers them, but they're doing sloppy work. Didn't one of them have to come out and apologize to, I think, the Ministry of Finance? I'm not apologizing. I showed on my end that the word unaccounted for unaccounted for, yeah, we went and we did the dictionary and all of that. It was the accurate word. Until it is verified where the money went and what it went to, and that it balanced in the books to the amount was given and the amount that was used, we are going to continue to say that the money is missing until proof comes that it is not missing. We're not taking on a word of mouth for it because we don't trust you guys in government, the present government right now. Not with the money. No, sir.
For example, Mr. Chung gives a whole lot of misleading data.
You know, Ralston, that's a critical part of the thing, A lot of people are conducting interviews and they have
clue as to what they're talking about.
Exactly, so they don't know the questions to ask. Therefore, they can't get the truth.
Yeah, precisely. And it's not just a lot of people.
Like I'm sure, guys.
People. They are the main people who put up themselves to be interviewing everybody and say they are the top people. So that makes it even worse. The people who say they are the top people and conduct the most interviews, they have no clue about what they're talking about. So they have no clue when people are giving them misleading information.
Or is it that some of them are part of the colored scheme, so they don't?
Some of them are colored, and some of it is unconscious incompetence.
Is it
non-conscious incompetence? Damn, this brother is intelligent. Non-conscious incompetence. Sheesh. Shots fired.
Emotional damage. Embarrassing.
He needs some milk.
Lord have mercy.
That the fourth estate has falling down on the job, Ralston?
Yeah, man. Fourth Estate, the University of the West Indies and Civil Society, yes, as well as the Private Sector Association. They are very wimpish.
Why do you blame the University of the West Indies as a part of the falling down?
Listen
of
this.
Getting this information out.
No, listen this. Because I never know this. Listen what I say about you, the University of the West Indies?
Well, in the 1970s, the Department of Economics at UWI played a very important role in policy making. We haven't seen that again during this dispensation. We hear nothing coming out of the Department of Economics at the UWI.
Or is it that the fourth estate don't engage them enough because...
No, man, the fourth estate engage them a lot. And I'm saying that we don't get anything that is sensible coming from them. And because the fourth estate, a lot of the members of the fourth estate, they are in awe of those people from the Department of Economics. So any nonsense them talk, them just run with it.
You think...
Yo, what?
Emotional damage.
So a blind a lead blind? I think God have done here. This no safe. This no safe none at all, brother.
That is funny, honey.
What?
That's funny.
Let me play that back. Come in, not in the air right a while ago.
Funny.
No, man, the fourth estate engage them a lot. And I'm saying that we don't get anything that is sensible coming from them. And because the fourth estate, a lot of the members of the fourth estate, they are in awe of those people from the Department of Economics. So any nonsense them talk, them just run with it.
Excuse me. Any nonsense them talk, them just run with it.
You think fear is a part of why people don't come out and speak?
Fear definitely gotta be a factor.
The way
man.
you speak the figures?
Yeah, man, fear and ignorance. Yeah, a combination of both.
Now, Ralston, let's get into the figures as they are.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen deceleration, many quarters of deceleration.
10 consecutive quarters of deceleration before barrel.
10 consecutive quarters, the economy been going down the hill before barrel. So for every quarter is 3 months. Yeah?
Yep.
3 months make up a quarter out of the calendar year, or even if the
fiscal year.
Even if the fiscal year is 12 months, so 3 months is a quarter. So 10 quarters straight, 30 months.
Yeah, man.
We have seen where the economy been going down the hill.
Yeah, man.
And Ralston Hyman, myself, a student of Ralston, we've been talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
But people say, even the Prime Minister himself said that we are spreading false news.
Yeah.
The Statistical Institute of Jamaica said that the last quarter, we didn't grow any at all.
Mm-hmm.
We dropped by what, 2.8%?
We declined by 2.8%. That came from the PIOJ. Starting told us that during the second quarter, we flatlined 0.2%. So 1.4% drop in the first quarter from 4.2% in the first quarter of the previous year. And then 0.2% in the second quarter compared with 2.3% during the same period of the previous year. And third quarter, we're now minus 2.8% compared with 5.9% in the third quarter of the previous year.
And what is the prediction?
People, you hear all of this declining of the economy. When you hear this, and them say Nigel, them had the audacity, the unmitigated gall, if you say Nigel Clarke is the best finance minister for ever come across the free.
What can go so?
And them still a blame it Pam Beryl. Exactly. We're gonna go to the point where you're gonna understand them cannot blame Beryl. Because the man I'm gonna break it down to show you how easy it is. And I said it, easy. It is that the man them could have fixed things. At this point, things are critical, and just by changing some things, it can be fixed. But it seems as if, and I did a video entitled with not a caption, but a thumbnail with Andrew Holness and Nigel Clarke months ago when we hear say him a got IMF. Me say, but someone here house slave. Me say Nigel Clarke and Andrew Holness is a house slave. You don't know what is a house slave? The house slave are the one them will get prestige opportunity from the slave master and them sell out the field slave them and keep them in order. So them get certain trinkets, them can sleep in the house, them can eat ice cream. They just make sure they lick off the master boot. Andrew Holness and Nigel Clarke, I dubbed the two of them two old slave months ago. When I saw them pandering to these financial entities to the point the IMF give Nigel Clarke a job, only can't tell me, say, this is my opinion. Nobody can tell me, say, them not sell out Jamaica. That's why the agricultural and the hospital, I think it's all on purpose, guys. Because it is an easy fix. Them have the most, them say them have the most money. So why them not use the most money for the right thing, them, and I put them in the right thing, them? Why in the world would we not focus on agriculture? Why in the world would they do something like that? You know me, the country not good. You have to be an old slave. Got to be. And I called it months ago. Tell her that. Can't find the video right now. What I want in my life, then we did do. Anyway, moving on.
For the fourth quarter.
Minus 1.4%, 1.5%, and the fourth quarter ending 7 days.
And
hey, me say more lick bad mind out of the internet, yes, man. Yo, all the ads them at the glam for come up. Oh, lick bad mind out of the internet, yes.
2 quarters of decline
is a recession anywhere in the world, in any economic class, in any multilateral agencies. The definition of a recession is 2 consecutive quarters declining in GDP, and that's where we are right now.
So you are saying that we are in a recession.
Yeah, man.
But officially, 7 days time, nobody can refute it.
No.
Because some people are still hoping. What those hopes are based on, Ralston?
Based on nothing. Based on nothing. Most of the agencies are already concluded that that's where we are. It's based on nothing. That's falsehood.
Why is it that in a situation like this we don't hear from the Minister of Finance?
Well, I mean, the Minister of Finance hasn't said anything that is of any significance since he came to that ministry.
Are you going to have her on?
She hasn't said anything or done anything significant since he arrived at that ministry.
Favour Williams, him attack, you know. So Favour, no, when you think about it, what has Favour Williams done? Right, them set up she get a big fall. Anyway, it says right here that a recession is a significant decline in economic activity that lasts more than a few months. So when him said 2 quarters, a quarter is 3 months, you know. So 6 months of a decline in economic activity. GDP, this is the only thing where them do. The GDP are go down, but the real economy poor. Employment, yeah, them say the employment is best, that unemployment is down, but what kind of employment? It's not sustainable jobs, because them describe 1 hour a week as employment. This is what I was trying to explain to people. Context is everything. Industrial production down, right? Customer spending this Christmas should be down as well. People don't have no money. So you see, increased unemployment, decreased consumer spending is a factor. Reduced industrial production and investment, decreased confidence in the economy. Yeah, these 3 things right here, at the bottom right there, yeah, those 3 things. You can leave out the unemployment part. Right? High inflation, oh my God. Political uncertainty, people, look at this. There, oh my God. People, I'm going to go back to this, and you're going to know why. Look at the causes. Financial crisis, external shocks, high inflation rates, political uncertainty. Like Andrew Holness' 28 bank account and being investigated by the Integrity Commission, and estate breach get caught up in a alleged breaches of Building Act and all these things. Hello? $3 trillion unaccounted for, over 3 ministries, political uncertainty. We can't stay there. Think are not nice. Recession is a period between a peak and a throw in business cycle, where there is a significant decline in economic activity spread across the economy that can last a few months to more than a year. Well, We have been declining all year, so hey, we are officially going into a massive recession, ladies and gentlemen. It is not if now, but now maybe. Those are the facts. Like and share the video. Don't keep it to yourself. Let's continue.
If anybody watching us now or listening to us who might live under a stone somewhere, Ralston Hyman is the economic talk show host, the #1 economic commentator, analyst anywhere in this side of the world. He
I'm a
hosts,
foundation member of the Economic Program Oversight Committee.
right. He hosts a program every weekday morning, Mondays to Fridays, on Power 106 FM, a station owned by the RJR Gleaner Communication Group. He's on from 9 o'clock.
Okay. And that's why every Warmington attack RJR. Okay. Ralston I problem. Okay.
Emotional damage.
Yes, to blow. You know, so we never realize that are the problem. A Ralston a problem, you know. Ralston a beat them bad with the information over there. And I show up them lies what them a tell to people them. Oh, people, I want him say the station name. Hold on there, over RJR.
Program Oversight Committee.
Right. He hosts a program every weekday morning, Mondays to Fridays, on Power 106 FM, a station owned by the RJR Gleaner Communication Group.
RJR Gleaner people wanna go support Ralston Hyman show over RJR. You hear me I tell you no? Don't keep it to yourself. Go and support Ralston Hyman RJR and now me understand, man. You say so, man. No, me understand.
He's on from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock.
No, me understand.
So I'm going to make that clear. Ralston,
Yes,
will you be having the finance minister on your show anytime soon?
Well, I doubt that because they do not, people like those, they do not come on that show.
But
The Prime
Ralston,
Minister, we have extended the show to him on several occasions. He hasn't turned up. Nigel Clarke came a couple times, spent 2 hours most of the time when he came. They're afraid to come on that show.
but
Mighty God. Don't tell me say them are run. Shots fired.
Embarrassing.
He needs some milk.
Why una run? People like and share the life. We know it early, but send it to couple person. Why una run? Eh?
Ralston, if the country is where we know it's at, isn't it prudent that the Minister of Finance
We need to save thing, brother. Can't worry about politics and party. Jamaica in a crisis.
makes herself available on the top financial show?
What you mean?
Of course. But these people go on the shows where the people don't know what to ask them, so they can't say anything that they want to say.
Yeah,
and
get
people
soft
quote them
answer.
as the minister said. They
Yeah,
don't.
them get soft questions and them a spread misinformation, and then I tell everybody else where for not believe them eyes and what them a experience, and I tell we a spread misinformation as vlogger. Eh? When I them a tell we lie, and they expect we if you just believe them. No, me not do it, you know. Me not doing it.
A blessed morning.
Easy pastor. Me not doing it. You understand what I say, people? Continue. Bad man. Look out bad man out the internet. Come on. Come on, man.
I want to take hard and
Listen,
critical
man.
questions, so they're afraid of my program.
We've heard you calling on the private sector, civil society, to join you in the call for the banks to cut interest rate, even after the Bank of Jamaica lowered the interest rate 4 times.
Yeah, man.
Finally, we hear some people now joining you.
Yeah, man.
Is it possible that people now will be calling for the minister to come talk to Ralston Hyman and Dr. Andrea Sutherland on Power 106 one of these morning?
Well, we sincerely hope so, because we have been talking about this interest rate thing for almost a year, and we finally see some of the wimpish private sector leaders joining the call, because this is a very important thing, and we're also calling for ministerial intervention if the banks don't voluntarily do it. Right? So we hope a lot more people will join the fray and to call, because this is mission critical for Jamaica. What we're seeing, and here's why we're calling for that. Based on the current, people don't understand, Jamaica is only $20 billion as a GDP. The international economy is $105 trillion. America is $29.5 trillion. European Union is $20 trillion. China is $18 trillion. The international economy is dominated by those countries. The Federal Reserve Board, the American Central Bank, is the world's most independent central bank, because it manages the American economy and the reserve currency. What we're seeing is that the Federal Reserve Board started the rate hikes in order to deal with the high levels of inflation, in 40 years caused by COVID-19 and the supply chain breakdown. So that's forced international central banks to hike their rates, because if you don't, then there'll be a run on their currency to take advantage of the higher rates in the US, and the US dollar is seen as good money.
Right.
So now that the Fed is coming down, the Bank of Jamaica is taking the opportunity to come down. And what we're seeing is that the banking sector is not responding. Now, when interest rates are lower, it means that you can have more projects and more investments and more jobs and more growth. And that is why we're calling upon the banks to do that, because what we're seeing is that the policies that are going to be pursued by the Trump administration will lead to higher levels of inflation, and then there'll be very few rate cuts. In fact, the chairman of the Fed said there'll be only 1 or 2 rate cuts next year, because inflation is likely to accelerate under the Trump administration.
Right.
So it means that the Bank of Jamaica has very little room to cut rates again. So it means that the country, must get the opportunity to benefit from the 4 rate cuts that are already in place.
And we have not seen the 2 major banks make any move thus far.
No.
Ralston,
If I suggest to you, no, I want somebody to tell me, say, what the man has said, no make no sense. Right, and I foolish is my talk. Would I really want somebody tell me that? Because you don't have to be no genius. When they listen to him man talk, him do such a good job in explaining the thing. If you never know nothing about finances, you can put 1 and 1 make 2. Common sense. Right? Jamaica not producing anything, you know. That are the first thing we need to see, you know. We're not producing anything. Therefore, if we're not producing anything and we're not exporting anything, how in the world our economy is going to grow? Under which world that are going to happen? Them been a lie to us all year. Now it creep up on them now. Right? When Nigel Clarke left the other day, them have to admit to us, after them give us this farewell speech about the man is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Right? All of the real truths come out right after. They keep getting exposed. Right? Favor Williams coming, and the first thing she coming with is like, oh, $20,000 Christmas. How much I want to get the $20,000 for Christmas? How much I want to know? But Favor Williams when I talk about, would I really like to know how much I want to get $20,000 for the Christmas? Are it still pending? Like all the other things that we are pending with that government. You know, so that government have to name the pending government. Yeah, man, it's soon to come, man. I pending government this. You ever see when the computer buffer and you see look something them are spinning a circle like so, as I JLP government that. Me now say they don't know what to do, you know. I really believe that they're doing what they're doing on purpose. I believe that they're purposefully sabotaging this country. For whatever reason. For whoever them I work for, that's what I believe. Because it just does not make any sense. These people are not only well paid, they're supposed to be well educated, and they have people that actually is overseers that is literally giving them the game. Ralston has called this for 1 year. The man that tell them say this is gonna happen. Right? 1 whole year now. And I did a video the other day when I find one speech from Marky G to blouse and skirt. Make me go and play this. I dig up that speech there.
That this present and Holness administration is in the pockets of the banks Hence, they are not
Same
making
thing,
any
you know,
move.
you
What
see?
would you say?
Yeah, man, they have demonstrated that they voted en bloc against the proposals by Fitzjackson in order to get the banks to behave better in terms of the fees and the services that they give to the public. Yeah, we know that.
So what Ralston is saying is that based off what the JLP voted for, right, with the banks them, you could say that they are working on behalf of the banks and not the people. Because of that, them vote for. I'm want to listen when I say
Andrew Holness and his team voted for the banks against the Jamaican people.
Against the people of Jamaica, yes.
Because Fitzjackson brought a bill to the parliament saying, let's defend the people of Jamaica.
That's correct.
And Andrew Holness and his team said no.
Every single man voted against it. Every single one.
Except Mike Henry, who did not turn up.
Yes.
The entire PNP opposition at the time was about what? 32 members?
Yeah, they voted for it. Yeah,
31 voted for the people. And the Andrew Holness-led administration voted for the banks.
Yeah.
And therefore the banks know that they have the backing of this government.
That's correct.
But the people...
To the detriment of the economy and the Jamaican people.
Much people understand that, Ralston?
No, and that is why we are having this continuous education program, trying to get our people to understand the importance of the rate reduction by the banks and let them know that the banks are holding the country hostage.
And who is on their side and who is...
You hear that? The banks, them are all the country hostage, you know, people. And the man a break down how them a do it, you know. And the government is not helping, you know, because the government now pressure the bank them for leg off a we on, you know, and stop holding down with, yo, Chano youth.
It's not.
Precisely.
So, with this recession that we are in now, Ralston, and I ask you this question Saturday morning, but I have to ask you again, what does this mean for the average Joe, the taxi driver, the truck driver?
All right, it means that he might get poorer, right? And his life will get harder, and his woman would have left him. More man are going to see him and beg him. He might have to look out more for the robber them, because things are just get harder all around. Simple, straight language.
But explain.
Straight language. People, me gonna listen. The RDI. I see a program. Get the RDI for you know. Wanna listen to the RDI from Market G months ago. One good while back. Listen to this. Listen to this.
People want real answers to the problems facing. But they were here in Parliament.
Well on there, people. Well on there.
What they got was pure theatre.
Say you love
Government.
me. No say you love me. Listen to this.
Take us out of the unprecedented crisis we are now facing. What they got was pure theatre. Parliament became a pantomime. If the people wanted drama, they could go to the little theatre or centre stage. But they were here in Parliament. The people want real answers to the problems facing them. The Minister of Finance says we're doing well. That is a fantasy. Who are the we of which he is speaking? Not the people in my constituency, not the people in East Rural St. Andrew or the people in Southeast St. Elizabeth. Only a few, the well-connected and the fortunate, are making money and living well. Many Jamaicans are living hand to mouth. They can't pay the bills. They are feeling the burdens of an economy pressured by 2 years of COVID-19 and now the Russia-Ukraine war. That is their reality. Madam Speaker, there's no balance in our society. We have a deeply unequal society, still divided into the haves and have-nots. The budget presented by the government will perpetuate and indeed worsen that inequality. The pandemic has severely impacted the world.
On ear, Marky G called this same thing here all long. On ear what the man say a while ago. Remember say Ukraine, start a Ukraine war, the man after that the man talk about this, you know. The budget where they lay down on listening, on listen.
The budget presented by the government will perpetuate and indeed worsen that inequality. The pandemic has severely impacted the world economy, and Jamaica was not spared. Having suffered a decline in real GDP of over 10% in 2020, we have not yet fully recovered the lost ground. The main economic legacy of the pandemic has been a spike in inflation. This has been caused by various factors, including increased world demand for goods versus services, supply chain disruptions affecting world trade, and geopolitical tensions affecting world commodity prices, including oil and gas, but also many other commodities. The reality is that Jamaica is now facing a major onslaught from the effects of the war in Ukraine and the sanctions imposed on Russia. Russia is a major exporter of oil and gas, and the price of oil has rocketed to over $100 a barrel. JPS, the Jamaica Public Service Company, has already warned of higher electricity costs. Indeed, Jamaica Public Service has called for a national response and is suggesting that the government suspends the taxes on fuel and the GCT on electricity sales to give paying customers some relief during this period. Motorists, taxi drivers, and other transport operators are already seeing massive increases in the cost of gas at the pump. Last Thursday, our shadow spokesperson for finance, MP Julian Robinson, in an excellent and revealing presentation, showed that the ex-refinery price of gas has increased by some 60% in the 12 months through to February 2022. He also showed the massive hikes in basic food prices over the last 12 months, graphically using charts. The conflict between Ukraine and Russia will make things even worse for Jamaicans. Russia and Ukraine are major producers of grains, and the prices of wheat, corn, and other grains are already flying through the roof. And
people, wanna hear how Market G break it down? Yo, me nah play that me nah play the audio in its entirety, you know. Me not doing it, you know. See near my video there. No found no pre that video. You see there? Mark Golden speech exposed Andrew Holness, Nigel, Clarke, and the JLP and Kieran. Wicked government. Wicked. No for only no listen to this yet. Me nah play the whole of it. No go over there. I'm a page. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now. Right now, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. I'm going to go watch it on own time. That video they don't even get 1,000 views. Enough people just look past it. Zane, may I tell you, the man break it down from in after Ukraine war start. You see, man, I break down all of the reasons why. You understand what I say? What is the name of the YouTuber? And my page Depan, man. My page Depan. That video there when me just play a while ago. So me drop the link there a while ago. My page Depan. The same page, Bolo V&R 2.0. See the link there? You can just put in and save for watch later. But let's continue. The man break it down, brother. Everything what happen now, the man done call it from them time because the man know what he talk about is common sense. So why this government never do nothing about it from that time when I want them? You understand what I say? All of the recommendations them what they make for ease the burden upon the people them, the poor people them. Why them never do it? Remember, say we feel it the most all the time, you know. The people them they up there, you know. Excuse me, the people them up there, you know. And have their money, you know. Them not feel it like that, you know. Road conditions, them not feel like that, you know. Them a feel it still, but them not feel it like that because them have bigger vehicle we can drive it. For the, you know, them Pajero and them something there. You understand what I deal with? For give them less problem. On the body road them. Body road, high electricity, food high. With the unemployment rate down, but the type of employment where you get, it's not sustainable income for you can actually live outside of the poverty line. They might collect more tax without changing or adding no other tax because the cost of things are so high. So the percentage where them get from an item, the money I got increase because if a $15 they get off of every $100. Now them I get a $200 for the item when it was 100. Now them I get $30. So instead of collect 15 billion in a taxes, them I collect 30 billion just by the rise of the prices in the store them. How much time when the see things raising in the store them? Them I collect more tax and no fix. At that Ralston and this man are explaining to people. At that the man are explaining. Yo, John O'Star. Tell you, man.
Into them for me. Because the Prime Minister speaks about the fiscal discipline that this government has been dealing with and ensuring that the debt to GDP is down to 70%. Mix that now with the reality of going into a recession for my list.
No, I want to pay close attention because I'm not even going to say no. I want to pay close attention to writers of people and hear how the financial guru explain where Andrew Holness always a boast about what them actually achieve. I want to listen.
Listeners and viewers.
Yeah, well, the Prime Minister really don't understand too much about economics, because bringing the debt to GDP ratio down to where they have brought it is one of the main factors that has brought the country into a recession. Yeah? So, fiscal discipline different from fiscal prudence. Fiscal prudence means that you pay your debt while at the same time taking care of your other responsibility. What the Prime Minister is caught up in a kind of fiscal slavishness where they are bringing the debt down faster than programmed for while scavenging the people and the country's infrastructure. And all the governments that have done that globally has either been voted out or the governments have been toppled. We see the same thing happening in France. We see that happening in South Korea. We see all those problems taking place. The countries that are growing and doing well, none of them are anywhere near any fiscal and debt to GDP of 60% or 70%. America is 123%. The UK is 100%. The European Union, which created that rule, is 87%. India, 87%. China, 284%. Japan, 253%. So
what about the Scandinavian countries? How they match up?
All of them are above the 60%, and they have heavy taxes in order to keep them close to that target.
So what is the
heavy
benefit?
Taxes.
What is the benefit to the teachers and the nurses and the firefighter of Jamaica getting GDP down to 60%? Because that's the target, right?
Yeah. There's none right now. What they're telling you is that they can get more money to borrow cheaper. So what they're doing is sacrificing the economy to borrow money cheaper tomorrow. If you grow, you need less money to borrow, and you can have a better living standard, and you can service your debt on a sustainable basis without sacrificing the next generation.
That is if you grow the economy.
Yeah.
So how then, if they are not growing the economy, how do they get the debt to GDP down to this where we are now?
Well, the big ticket items was when Peter Phillips was there. Venezuela sold us $3 billion in debt for $1.5 billion US. That helped us to shave over 20% after the debt. And then when they came in 2017, they changed the definition of the debt and took out the Bank of Jamaica debt, which brought us down to about 80-90%. And remember, that debt to GDP is based on nominal GDP, not real GDP. So we measure growth on real GDP, and we measure debt on nominal GDP. The difference between nominal and real GDP is that you adjust nominal GDP for inflation.
No, Ralston, hold on, let me check.
They adjust nominal GDP or inflations. So you have real GDP and nominal GDP. Let's play that back.
Venezuela sold us $3 billion in debt for $1.5 billion US. That helped us to shave over 20% after the debt. And then when they came in 2017, they changed the definition of the debt and took out the Bank of Jamaica debt, which brought us down to about 80-90%. And remember, that debt to GDP is based on nominal GDP, not real GDP. So we measure growth on real GDP, and we measure debt on nominal GDP. The difference between
measure growth on real GDP and measure debt on nominal GDP. You hear how you measure debt, nominal GDP. Listen to that again.
About 80-90%. And remember, that debt to GDP is based on nominal GDP, not real GDP. So
debt to GDP is based on nominal GDP.
We measure growth on real GDP, and we measure debt on nominal GDP. The difference between nominal and real GDP is that you adjust nominal GDP for inflation.
So, when you want to know about nominal GDP, you have to check the type of inflation we are going in the country. Right? At that you must say this. See?
And down to about 80-90%. And remember, that debt to GDP is based on nominal GDP, not real GDP. So we measure growth on real GDP, and we measure debt on nominal GDP. The difference between nominal and real GDP is that you adjust nominal GDP for inflation.
No, Ralston.
So when I say the inflation, that means they have whole heap of debt. Right? Which they Him a go explain later on, so them a borrow be money and him a show and yo, the man a break it down, bro. I swear.
Where we are. Oh, we're not at that break yet. Look at a country like Trinidad and Tobago. Where's the Trinidad and Tobago debt to GDP?
Trinidad and Tobago is about 64-65%. And remember, they have oil resources. Barbados is 107%, and they grew by 4.4% for the first 6 months of this year. Jamaica grew by 0.8%. Near Motley, since he's not coming down to any debt to GDP of 60% before the year 2033, 2034. Yeah, because he wants policy room to grow the economy and to improve the quality of life of our people.
A country like Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, where are those countries as it relates?
Them man don't need to borrow money. Them man are net lenders of money. Them man don't really borrow money. Them man have oil resources.
So their debt to GDP is single digit.
Yeah, man, because them don't borrow.
But the difference is they are producing.
Yeah, man, so them not for borrow. They are the ones who lend money.
Ralston, what caused this problem? It's not just paying off the debt faster. What else caused Jamaica to be in this situation now?
Well, as we said before, so the government is a major player in the economy. So if the government uses the bulk of the taxes to pay down the debt and do not invest in education, do not invest in infrastructure, all those things affect productivity. Those things drive away investment. So they have it mixed up. They believe if they pay down the debt, they'll get more investment. But if you pay down the debt and you don't have any roads, you don't have any educated people and crime is on the loose, then you're not going to get the level of investments that you expect to get.
Emotional damage.
People, me know him a talk a bit fast. You understand what man I say? They are focusing on paying down the debt to GDP, but they are sacrificing key areas that should be paid attention to, right? Because they boost the growth of your economy. One is education. You need educated folks. Any type of expansion that any country is doing, the education of that people is severely important to that expansion and growth in their economy. You can't have a bag of people who are illiterate and dunce. How them are qualify for get top positions when you have big contracts and stuff like that for build the country, you know, different sectors and areas. They need educated people. So they are sacrificed education, right? Them also sacrifice the health of the Jamaican people with the poor hospital conditions. The roads, you can't have bad roads and expect. Listen, it's gonna take more time to move around. When you notice, say, you have tourists that come out and make TikTok videos speaking about the conditions of the road. That's why it's at a critical. It's getting international attention that our roads are horrible. So, what is our golden goose for our economy? The what? The tourism area. So now because of the bad roads, now our tourism area is being affected. The people them don't want to come here with them bad road, brother. I spend 4 hours to go from Mobile to Negril because the road bad. Them can't enjoy themselves. Them have bad experience and I go back and I tell people about them bad experience, which means them the people that go and come here. So now we are shooting ourselves in the foot in so many ways just to pay the debt of the debt to GDP to bring that down faster than it needs to be brought down. They're focusing on the wrong things, guys, and I think they're doing it on purpose. I think this is economical sabotage by the Jamaica Lawless Party. Andrew Holness and Nigel Clarke and all of them, Favor Williams, all of them. That is my belief. My belief is that there's puppeteers behind these people that they have signed off agreements with to be doing this to us here in Jamaica and suffering the people. That is my belief. That is my belief. I'm not saying it's factual, I'm saying that's my belief.
Right? Additionally, they have a private sector that is not very innovative. So if the government creates a condition where it is difficult for them to invest, they are not going to push the envelope and invest. They'll continue to gather margins by pushing paper. So we see the central bank, even today, the central bank came out today and said that they're floating a fixed rate CD at 6.5% per annum for 26 months, and that's $30 billion. So the private sector rather to put their money into those things. So what we see, we have the government at the same time tightening the money supply, Bank of Jamaica tightening money supply. And when they tighten money supply, Bank of Jamaica, they issue paper at high rates, and the private sector people played safe and put their money in paper rather than in production.
But
hey, mighty God. So basically, the way of them structure it, the people them at the top is the one that is benefiting, and the people them at the bottom are the one that is suffering because of how them the banks them are doing it. And he's saying that the government has a responsibility to protect the people's interests, and they are not doing it. Mighty God of
Emotional damage.
Guilty. That nigga is guilty.
But Ralston, I heard the Prime Minister in a speech, I don't remember if it was at the university at the West Indies, was quarreling about in the 90s when government paper used to be what the investors used to invest in, and basically saying that was bad for the country.
Mm-hmm.
But the government float about 4 paper within the last 2 months?
No, man, more than that. Every day, every week, them float at least 2-3 paper. Today, Christmas Eve, they just floated $30 billion. The Prime Minister talking bullshit. And that is why I'm telling you about the University of the West Indies, because he should be corrected at that point in time when he said that at the University of the West Indies.
But why now that why after him said that and said it was lazy, why are we now floating these papers?
Because they want to use that in order to prevent people from buying the dollar. Right now, the dollar is overvalued. The dollar is trading at 154. So we move from 161 to 154 while the trade deficit is widening. The rate of exchange is supposed to be a function of what is happening in your external accounts. So that kind of voodoo economics where your external...
Voodoo economics? Yo, hold on there. No. Yo, Ralston, you talk too fast. Hold on there, bro. Voodoo economics? Hold on there. Wait. Hold on.
Because they want to use that in order to prevent people from buying the dollar. Right now, the dollar is overvalued. The dollar is trading at 154. So we move from 161 to 154 while the trade deficit is widening. The rate of exchange is supposed to be a function of what is happening in your external accounts. So that kind of voodoo economics where your external account is deteriorating, but the value of your currencies are appreciated at the same time.
So what you're saying, hold on, what you just said a while ago, the dollar is overvalued?
Yeah, man.
So are you saying that the Jamaican dollar should be at about 170 to 1 US?
No, what we're saying is that based on the measurement, the dollar should be more trading somewhere in the region of 158, 160 rather than 155. What we're saying is that based on the measurement, the dollar should be more trading somewhere in the region of 158, 160 rather than 155.
So,
but the reason that it is trading at 155 is because they are taking out all the money out of the system. So that is why people are saying, oh, Christmas are coming and the money out of the system. On the government side, the government is using the taxes to pay the debt faster than program for. And on the monetary side, the Bank of Jamaica is taking the money out of the system and locking it up in the vault and paying you to keep it in the vault in order to protect the dollar.
You're listening. Well, Ralston, you're listening to Portland Spice TV. You're listening to Styles FM. Listening to Carrie in this half hour. Hyman break on Styles FM. People were saying that he was the best thing since sliced bread.
Nigel, Clarke, you want to talk about yes, so listen to this.
You never agreed.
No, I fundamentally disagree. He's just an accountant.
The policies that they were pushing.
Embarrassing.
He needs some milk.
The man said Nigel Clarke is just an accountant, bro.
Emotional damage.
Nigel Clarke, how you feel? Yo, Jano.
Never agreed.
No, I fundamentally disagree. He's just an accountant.
The policies that they were pushing I said to somebody yesterday that I am yet to hear one policy that will push production even after the statement about pivoting. I don't hear how we're going to drive production in this country. Have you heard it?
No, you never even use that terminology. You rarely use the terminologies about production and exports. All he talks about is debt to GDP and primary surplus. What he's doing is relegating economics to an accounting exercise, and that is why I never rated him. He has no policy to deal with production. The best way to pay down the debt is to produce more. And if he really did courses in economics, he would know that Professor Paul Samuelson contended that the surest way one generation can place a burden on the next generation is to leave a massive debt burden while under-educating them and not spending on infrastructure. And that is exactly what reached Jamaica. His policies brought Jamaica to a recession.
People, Empress 39th place, Wagwan Empress. Because, hey, una for me know the thing, you know, call that one mouthful, you know. Me I tell you,